Welcome to another biology episode. Today we're talking about, well, let's say a rather controversial topic, which are gene drives. A gene drive is an approach to insert genes within a population and with the paramount goal that these genes spread within the whole population. So, it's possible to exploit genetic engineering to insert a gene into an organism, but usually, if we follow Mendelian Inheritance, there's a video about Mendel's law, so if you want to check that out, the link is above. Only 50% inherit the gene, so that's normal. But with gene drive, it's possible that all the offspring carries the gene, and thereby a specific feature can be distributed within a population very efficiently and quickly, as you can see in this figure. So now let's talk about the technique behind it, which is CRISPR-Cas9, which you can think of as a molecular scissor. Actually, it's an enzyme protein complex that is derived from bacteria, and bacteria use it as a type of immune system. So if a bacteria gets attacked, they're able to cut out a piece of the genome of the intruder and make a copy of it. Then they can react very fast when they get attacked by the same pathogen again. So this is what you see here. A bacteria has kind of saved genetic information from different intruders. So now this technique is used to copy the gene that was already inserted into one chromosome into the other one. And now this gene is on both chromosomes, so it gets passed on to all the offspring. Now, the example for gene drive is the possibility of eradicating malaria. Malaria is a tropical disease and gets transmitted by a mosquito. And now there are several ways of dealing with this problem. So you could make them infertile, or a less radical approach would be to make them resistant to the infectious agent that causes malaria. There are countless other feasible applications in agriculture, plants in general, but also for other animals. Now you might wonder, well, this sounds kind of convincing, so why not? Well, actually, reality is not trivial. So the problem is that there's the possibility of off-target mutations. So off-target means that genes and general parts of the genome might mutate that we don't want to, and we might not know it. And this could cause harm. And there's no way to prevent the spreading of genetically modified organisms. And the problem is that there's a huge lack of knowledge. And it's not only about the technique, but also about potentially detrimental future events. Now, and from a scientific point of view, and that is something that we have to discuss as well, it's not only feasible to exclude hazardous traits, but someone might to add something that could have, well, harmful consequences. This is what we call bioterrorism. So bacteria, for example, could be modified to carry deadly traits. So a public debate is required to discuss this potential hazard. And because, well, it's possible that the development of such a weapon might lead to competition between countries. And those weapons would potentially be very efficient in killing or harming people. So, especially when talking about malaria, there are actually way easier and more obvious solutions. So the mosquitoes are only active during the night. So a web would already prevent the vast majority of infections. Insect repellents might also have beneficial effects. So those approaches would be cheaper and they could be readily applied. So instead of spending a lot of money on research concerning gene drive, the potential benefits, and where also disadvantages and potential harms, well, one could invest in something like insect repellents. And also for the other potential applications, there are alternative solutions which could be readily applied and not in a few years' time. So actually we're talking about a technique where we don't know a lot about and where simple solutions exist. So now you might you might want to form your own opinion. There will be a link to a website below where they deal with this whole topic, and it's always very important to inform yourself to form an opinion. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see weekly uploads.